is calling for you. Something different. I don't like how this ends, but I'll pretend my tears are hidden. Who am I to tell you no, to beg you, baby, please don't go. You will keep chasing highs, and I'll be fine from a distance. Can't you hear the world is calling for you? Can't you hear the world is calling for you? Can't you hear the world is calling? The world is calling. The world is calling for you. Can't you hear the world is calling? The world is calling. The world is calling for you. I don't have what you want, what you need. Hope you find it. Heaven knows how we try to get it right, but we collided. Who am I to drag you down, to make you stay here on the ground? You're a bird meant to fly, so kiss the sky. Don't you fight it. It's time, gotta let you go. Let you run wild, baby, it's time. But you need to know now I will be fine. Even though it hurts, even though it burns, I'll be alright. Watching the sky. Can't you hear the world is calling for you? Can't you hear the world is calling for you? Can't you hear the world is calling? The world is calling. The world is calling for you. Can't you hear the world is calling? The world is calling. The world is calling for you.
Before I jump into my big project, there are a couple little areas like this on the map that are just calling out for a little bit of vegetation, a little bit of detailing, and then I also want to add in some pedestrian connectivity. So no matter what side of the town you were staying on, no matter what side of the town you wanted to go visit or do things, you could just easily walk from one side to the other. Now there's lots of transportation for people to get on for sure, but you know, if you were staying in an Airbnb right here across the highway and you wanted to get over to the Olympic Village, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way you could just walk over? So we're gonna do that today and a little bit of detailing, and then we're gonna jump in to my big project. I thought right here with the bike road on either side of the highway here, I thought it might be safer to have a dedicated bike tunnel lane so that way the bikes aren't in the tunnel with the cars. And then that gave me the opportunity to bring in a direct bike road all the way through this area just to provide a more direct connection. And then I ended up also bringing in a dedicated pedestrian path as well. And then just ended up adding a lot of foliage and creating a nice little park space. Okay, I had a conversation with Flybox and he gave me the go-ahead. This area right here to me, he built this lovely, we have Green Cities buildings, we have the local and organic produce in this area, we've got lots of nice transit in this area, and there was this nice piece of land in between what Flybox built and leading up into this lovely park hill that we have that connects over into our downtown. I wanted to do some terraforming here, make a little space and have a huge farmers market. This isn't my big project of the day, but this space was just calling out to me and I kept looking at it, and I'm glad that Flybox didn't have a plan for this area and was cool with it, and I just had a lot of fun with it. Additionally, we're going to be doing a little bit of changes to the transit in this area. So I'm just going to finish fiddling with this road network and then we'll get started. So I wanted to create another bike connection here because this other road I'm actually going to turn into a pedestrian road. So I made the bike road go on the other side here. And then what I wanted to do was bring through, we have the trolley bus that comes through this area, but I actually wanted to come and stop inside the farmers market, and then I wanted to stop right outside the monorail because eventually we're gonna actually there's a tram road right here, but the tram stops right here. So we're gonna continue that today as well. So I'm just going to make a few adjustments here. We're gonna bring in a few more, I think we'll do some more residential, some IT, and just kind of continue these layers and heights in this area. And then continue to bring through the transit here and just kind of let this area grow up a bit around our farmers market. Okay, I really think that all blended really nicely. I really like how that just kind of extended what Flybox has started there. And now I just want to turn my attention to the farmers market. Of course, we're going to use some dirt paths, some local and organic produce, some good old whack-a-mole, and a little bit of detailing, and just make this really a destination farmers market. Okay, the other thing I decided to do was connect a hiking path. We're hiking up the hill and down the other side into the downtown. I love adding recreational outdoor activity where I can. And I just think this would be such a great hiking path. You would have such a great view of the city, and I think it's just really a nice little addition. And I haven't seen anyone use it. I do think it's kind of far, so I don't know if it'll actually get any use in the game, but in real life you could definitely see something that you maybe take an afternoon to go do that hike and get a nice view. So just finishing up some small details here to our farmers market, and just again making everything feel very lush, very tropical, and just making this a destination. Before I jump into my build, one last little connection. I want to connect this bike road up together. I think this was connected at some point, so I'm just going to remake this connection, and then we're going to pull over a road from El Demetrius's area over and hook that up, and then everything is connected. And then of course we need more vegetation. The first thing I want to do here is do some terraforming, and I want to create two distinct levels in this area, and we're going to use this lovely feature that's already built on the map that's dividing this area in half as our line of where we're going to have our break of two different heights. So let me do some terraforming here quickly. Okay, we're all smoothed out. The trees have been removed, so we have a nice blank space. Let's get in our road layout. Okay, I'm very happy with how that came out. I think that's going to work really nicely. Now in this upper tier, we do have this tram we need to think of, and I do think we could use a little more terraforming along the main collector here. So let's get that all fixed up. Okay, we have our two distinct levels prepped a little bit. We've done some terraforming, removed the trees, we've got some dirt roads, we've kind of got a bit of a plan. So the next thing I want to do is focus on this area right here. To me, this is just screaming to be made a beautiful green belt. So let's make a blank space, let's remove the trees, do some terraforming, bring in a nice pedestrian road through this area, get prepped, and then we will detail up this entire green belt. So excited about this. Okay, I think our greenbelt is all prepped. I've got the main pedestrian road put down, which will be our lovely pedestrian promenade walkway through the park. I really like mixing these zonable pedestrian roads with dirt paths from the park life. I really think it can make a very special place, especially when you're talking about doing something like this where the entertainment is taking a walk through a place, right? So you want to have lots of different options, lots of different paths and different parks and fountains and foliage. And I love going to places like this, and they just make me so happy. So I love creating them. They're just a lot of fun. So again, we're just going to start with some fencing, some simple detailing, bring in lots of foliage, and just see where my creativity takes me. here we are on to the main build of today. I am going to create a museum district. When looking at our vacation city and trying to figure out what I think it really needed, this is kind of like the opposite of my first build. My first build was a place that never sleeps, dance party all the time, concerts, and just like always something going on. So I thought it might be nice to have a kind of a more calm place that you could go on your vacation, maybe just to escape the heat. You know, we're close to the beach here, which is really nice. You can go for a day and just walk around the different museums, or just walk around the outside of this museum, essentially campus that I'm building. So I thought it would be a nice addition to our vacation city, and I liked that it was like the complete opposite concept of my first build of like, you know, a dance party all day, all night. So I really like this idea of having kind of a more calm place you could go while you're on your vacation. And there's lots of places around the city that are already historical where you can learn about the history of our lovely city. But I did want to see if I could take all of the buildings in the game that are labeled as a museum and see if I could fit them all into one build. They don't all really at first glance look like they fit together, and I really like doing these types of builds where you take a certain type of asset and try to blend them all together. So the area I'm working on right now was the area I dedicated for the 3 art museums we have in Cities Skylines. And like I said, the buildings really don't like fit together aesthetically. They don't look like they belong together, but I think by using the African miniature, these little 1x1 buildings do look like little artist stands, kind of like a artist like market, open market, where people can sell what they create as artwork. And then mixing in like this lovely statue that we got with the Africa and miniature looks so great. So even though these buildings really don't look like they fit together, I feel by using all of these things and adding in foliage, I thought that really kind of did blend together. So this section right here is all of the art themed museums in the game. And yeah, I really like how it came together. I hope that you guys like this little section. And each area that we're doing today is going to have a little bit of a different theme and look to it, which I really like doing, but it'll all be in one huge museum campus. Okay, our first little section is complete. This is our art themed area. We've got the 3 art museums here, a lot of African miniature. I love that it's set with the monorail in front. I think it turned out really nice. This little corner was too small for a grouping of museums, so I thought the Theater of Wonders just fit really nice in this area. And then I added in some Heart of Korea and some detailing, and I think it turned out really well and just filled up this little corner of our museum district really nicely. Okay, next, there are 2 science centers in the game. One is called the Science Center and one is called Science Center. And unlike the art buildings that kind of didn't feel like they went together, because these buildings both have spheres, you know, one has this sphere near the bottom entrance, the other one has it kind of up in the building. I did think it kind of made them feel like they belong together, and they're both science centers, so that makes sense. Even though they both have their own unique feel, I do felt that they actually worked really well together, especially once I added in the plazas and the detailing and the foliage. And then I ended up adding a little modern city center assets along the back, a lot of foliage along the highway, and just blending everything together. And then I also added a few offices in as maybe buildings, because these are science centers. Maybe there's some scientists that actually, you know, do also work in this area. So I thought it might be nice to have some offices combined in this little science center area. So again, just really trying to make these each feel unique and different from each other, pulling through kind of a different feel with the landscaping and the type of buildings I was zoning in, making sure that there was ample parking and always including some pedestrian roads as well. So yeah, I really like how this science area turned out. If there's anything that you think that I should have put in the like science center area that I didn't, make sure to drop a comment below and let me know. Again, just taking a brief pause, getting the lay of the land. So now we've got our art area, the Theater of Wonders, and we have our 2 science centers. I'm really liking the different layers and height here. I think it's working really well. Okay, now on to our area that's all themed around technology. Now in the game, there's just the one building, the Museum of Technology, but we do have all these high-tech buildings. So I thought it would be fun to use a few of them in this area, and they just fit so well. I really do love these buildings. I don't use them enough. I haven't used them a lot in the past, and just love how futuristic they look, and it just really ended up filling out the space very nicely. Again, just pulling through detailing just to help make everything look clean and crisp and pull it all together. But again, this technology area was pretty simple to put together because of these large buildings that just filled up the space. Again, if you think I should have added anything else in the game to the technology area, let me know. But again, it came together really quick and I really, really like it. Last thing I did was add a whole bunch of parking, and this area definitely needed it. The last museum in the game is the Botanical Museum, and I could have done a lot with it and made it into a larger area. There are a lot of like garden type assets in the game that would have worked well, but because we have this lovely green belt, it kind of felt like we had already taken care of that nature piece. So I decided just to make a really lovely, beautiful, detailed plaza out in front of the building to bring it all together, and I think it turned out really nice. Okay, let's just take a step back. Let's look at everything. I think this turned out so cool. I love this museum district. Okay, now I want to bring in some of the Cities Skylines 2 plazas. Speaking of Cities Skylines 2, I want everyone right now to mark down September 8th. I've been granted early access, so yes, I will be putting out a video that day, but that's not why I want you to mark your calendars. There are so many amazing creators that have been granted early access and are allowed to make a video for you on September 8th, and I am excited as a fan on that day to like just sit down and watch all these different creators that we love watching and see what they do with the game. I am so excited. And this plaza, I don't know if you know, but like people will be beamed up in the middle to supposedly go to Cities Skylines 2, which I think is such a nice detail. And I really like that they gave us these plazas in the game to help build hype around Cities Skylines 2. Such a smart idea. Okay, and we're not done yet. There's this second piece of land that I flattened out. Now I've brought through the tram, which you can take all the way through to downtown, and honestly all the way to the other side of the map. You have to transfer, but you can take it all the way to my very first build, the Heartbeat. And I've also added in the metro here, so you can hop on the metro to get to the downtown even faster if you want to, or you can take it all the way out to the amusement park that Flyvox built. So what I decided to put in here was something else that we didn't have. So this is going to be a 55 plus community. So it's going to be a gated community, 55 plus only. It's going to be just really nice homes, and then we're going to have a little miniature town square that has all the things that you would need. So you know, little post office, little grocery store, things like that. So everything is outside your door and very walkable. I really liked this location for a 55 plus park because you can walk right outside your door and hop onto the green belt. And I just feel like having that kind of outdoor space accessible for seniors is so important. Also, just having it so connected with transit so they can get around easily in the city, and then also just providing them services right within their 55 plus community. So really everything you would need is in this community, but if you want to, you know, go other places, you can. And we're not too far from the beach, which I also feel like is really nice. So yeah, this location just felt prime for that. And if you have seen before, when I got to do my episode for the 5B1C, I did a whole dementia village, which is way more extensive than this. This is just a simple 55 plus living park. But I feel like adding these things are really important to your city to think about the people who are going to live there. And of course, in the game, whoever moves in is whoever moves in, but I do like making these spaces that are specific for certain citizens. I feel like there's always a real need for affordable housing that also gives accessibility and entertainment for seniors. So I hope you enjoy this little section. We're gonna speed through here. It's gonna be a really simple 55 plus park, but I think it turns out super cute. Okay, I set aside these two little blocks here for kind of a main street type of area. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade these to pedestrian roads and make it really walkable. And this is where we're gonna put some of our commercial buildings. We'll definitely do a little clinic. We're definitely going to want to fit in like the sauna and the pool as well. So just a little bit of shopping. It's just a nice little selection of buildings. I definitely want like the old school ice cream parlor. So just making it a really cute spot where you could get out from your house, kind of come into your little town and get what you need. And then also you can just walk on and get on the transit as well. So let's just use a couple things from the game and make essentially just a postage stamp of like a little town center. Now I do want this to be a gated community, so I'm going to use some fencing and just some nice detailing around that. That is one thing we learned from the dev diaries in Cities Skylines 2 is you're going to be able to set a district as a gated community, which I am excited for just for this purpose of like building these kind of like 55 plus parks or a dementia village, things that are for seniors. It's really nice because it doesn't allow through traffic, and it just makes it an actual gated community like functionally, which is really nice. So I'm excited to play with that feature for sure. Okay, let's just bring in some detailing, do some fencing, and finish up our 55 park. Okay, these power lines are annoying me a bit, and I think we can kind of clean this all up and do them a bit better instead of just straight across the map. I'm not sure what Flybox and Steven are going to build, but I think we can just run this power line just along the road, and I think that'll end up just making it a little neater, cleaner, and then they can move it as needed for whatever they build next. Okay, there we go. Nice excuse to put in a little cafe here. I think this fits perfect and it helps jump the power. I am perfectly fine with this. Okay, and there is our 55 plus park. I think it turned out really nice. What a great view that you have. You're kind of up on this ledge a little bit. You can walk to the greenbelt, which means you can easily walk down into the museum district. So I think it's a nice fit for the area. You've got everything you need right in town, and you've got lots of public transportation. I think we've created a fantastic place for anyone who wants to retire in our city. I want to say it has been such an honor to build next to these 9 other amazing builders. Doing this collaborative project has been so incredibly enjoyable. I hope that you have had a chance to catch everyone's episode and hopefully subscribe to all the builders involved in this project. I love collaborations, and I'm so excited for the future of collaborative projects with the Skyline6 and with the guest builders in this series. We are so excited for what's to come, working as a group and building beautiful things together. I hope you have enjoyed this entire series. Remember, there are 2 more episodes left. Flybox is coming up this Sunday. Cities by Steven is coming up the Sunday after that. I hope you all have a joyful day, and I'll catch you next time.
It's calling for you.